What is good, group number one? For those of you who were drawn to the first image, this is going to be y'all's reading today. We're going to be getting some messages on how are you being viewed in the workplace. So this could be regarding your coworkers, your management, boss, supervisor, customers, even clients, whatever. I don't know. We'll see what messages want to sneak through on today. So, spirit guides, angels, benevolent, and venerated ancestors. This is for group number one. Can we get some messages on how are they being viewed in the workplace? For group number one, how are they being viewed in the workplace? Why am I hearing this song? um, what is it? Like, I'm not gonna be here for long. So, some of you here, now I'm getting rest stop. So I feel like you may have a lot of people at your job who knows for a fact that you, or not necessarily for a fact, they it's more so assumptions. They feel that you're not going to be there for long, or like you're not like that's not your one stop or like your only stop in your career. Um I'm seeing Legos, like, and somebody like stacking Legos on top of each other. I'm getting the word building or building block. So I feel like, you're kind of led to where you are right now, currently at your current job. Even if you're like an entrepreneur, that's fine too. But wherever you are right now is definitely not your final stop. It feels like it's more of a building block. There are certain skills or talents or something that you needed to experience there to help you along your journey. Like there's a specific piece of the puzzle. I'm hearing significant. So there's a significant piece of the puzzle that you needed to learn while at your current job to prepare you for where you're meant to be in life. So I feel like a lot of people see that with you. There's something about your energy that um, I'm seeing somebody building the Legos, but like some of them are piled up straight, and then there's like a few little stragglers that's kind of sticking out of the building. I don't know how to make that make sense, but I feel like you're kind of one of the little stragglers. Like why everybody's kind of like conforming, and they may be there for years and years and years and years to come. You're kind of just sticking out. You kind of stick out like a sore thumb, group number one. So I feel like they view you as very different than the rest of them. And that's why they feel that you're not going to be there forever like some of them are, because you're meant for something different, something more, because you are different. You are more than where you currently are right now. Let's get some cards. Four of Swords. So they can view you as a little bit like laid back, very chill. Um, ooh, the Hierophant energy. So you have a bit of a quiet power to you. I'm getting like King of Swords energy. He may not be the loudest in the room, but you can feel his energy by him just walking into the room. And I feel like that's the energy that you give off. You may come off as a little bit nonchalant, very chill, very laxed, but you are also very much a boss, a leader. Even if that's not your title, um, it's still an energy that you possess. So a lot of people at your job view you as, having this potential to have a bigger title in your career, whether it's at your current job or space, or somewhere different. But they can see a lot of potential within you that you are, um, that you can do a lot more and a lot better than where you currently are or what you currently do. So again, that's that energy of like building blocks. You're just there to learn, um, learn more about yourself, to experience certain things, apply those lessons, um, or not apply those lessons, but to reflect on those lessons. Four of Swords is about reflection. Um, so yeah, you're definitely, again, you're meant to kind of um, feel into where you currently are to learn what you need to learn on a soul level, and then move up. I feel like you're the type of person that either moves up or move out. You may not take many lateral moves, but you definitely will move up, especially when you know that it benefits you. What else? 555 could be very significant. That was what's on my timer up here when I looked up. Excuse me. Four of Swords. They could view you as someone who you may be a little bit like private or to yourself, more so in the sense of, you may have your own things going on outside of work, and I feel like you don't let that stop you from working. You don't bring, I mean, you may bring it into work, and people can tell that you may, for source energy, people can tell that you have a lot on your mind, or you're thinking about a lot of things, or you're reflecting on a lot of things, um, but they just may not know exactly what it is. Um, I'm drawn to how the people on the little stained glass window here are kind of looking down on this person here while they're kind of resting and reflecting or praying, maybe. I don't know. So you have a lot of people who kind of wonder about you, or wonder like what's on group number one's mind. Like, what are they thinking about? What are some things that they may be going through? Like, what is it that they got going on that I don't know about? So you have a lot of people who are very nosy, regarding your personal life or your private life, or what plans you're making right now, where you're going next. Um, but you're just kind of like to yourself. You're just still doing you. You're still showing up every day. I feel like you have a good personality, and a lot of people love your personality. But there's something, they may feel like something's off with you, as far as like, again, like they can tell that something's on your mind, or you're thinking about things. Maybe, for you, group number one, you just may be adulting. You just may have a lot of things that you're kind of thinking about as far as your home life. Some of you may have kids. Some of you may be worried about, finances, or, family members. You just got your own shit that you worry about on the outside. But I feel like for you, I'm hearing mask, but you're masking less and less as you kind of get older and mature, and it's starting to show. Your things that you're thinking about in your head is starting to show on your face. Maybe not necessarily an RBF, but it's definitely like you think, you contemplate, um, and you just kind of think about things a lot. King of Cups in reverse. So King of Cups in reverse, excuse me, is um, a bit of a emotional manipulator in a way. Um, Maybe some people at your job could view you as someone who's able to like pull on people's heartstrings. You may be able to get sympathy or empathy out of people pretty easily. You may be really good at manipulating, Uh, not saying it's negative or positive, but that, some people are just could be just naturally good at, again, like pulling on certain people's heartstrings, or causing certain, like, reactions or feelings out of other people. So, um, Ooh, another thing I'm picking up is I'm getting delusional. So you may have people at your job who may think that your visions, your dreams, your goals in life, you may be a little delusional with it. Or they just may not know, again, like they're wondering about what you are planning on doing, what you want to do. For some of you, you may have shared some of your goals in life or some things that you may want to do with yourself. And you may just have people at your job who may think that you're being like delusional is like Pisces Neptune energy here. So that illusionary, um, dreamy type of energy. So again, some people may feel like you're kind of in your head. You are just, you're not, um, making the best moves or decisions, or you're just being, again, like very delusional about the moves and decisions that you want to make in life or regarding your career. But I feel like overall, you have a lot of potential, and a lot of people at your job see that, especially your higher ups with this higher front energy. So if you have some higher ups, some execs, senior directors, or chiefs, or president, CEO, whoever the fuck is at your job, they definitely see that you have the potential to be where they are, and even higher. Um, so for some of you, that may spark a little bit of jealousy. Um, some of you also, you may be held to like higher standards. You may, and I feel like this is just because you're really good at what you do. Um, it's a little bit of like performance punishment in a way, to where you're so good at your job to where your boss or your supervisors or managers, they may put more work on you, or they just may hold you to higher standards than they would other staff members. So that could be something that you could be like dealing with. um I'm sorry that you have to go through that because it always sucks to have to go through that. um But I guess my advice, you got the Knight of Swords here at the bottom of the deck. Make sure you're advocating for yourself. You are speaking up for yourself. If you know that you're not being treated fairly or appropriately, don't be afraid to have those conversations with your higher ups, your managers, supervisors. Sometimes HR, because I don't know, HR can be really iffy a lot of times. So just be careful with them. If you can feel like you can trust them, then go for it. If not, if you just have that little intuitive nudge or feeling to not go talk to somebody, then don't do it. Just listen to your intuition on that. Um, but yeah, definitely a little bit of advice is always advocate for yourself. Always speak up if you need to. With the Knight of Swords energy, sometimes you can talk about like gossiping, more so in the like reverse energy. So keep it upright by speaking clearly, speaking with truth, but don't do the reverse thing, to where you're talking behind your boss's back or you're complaining behind their back. And that may be, for some of you, that may be what you do, but I would suggest maybe not doing that. If you have any problems or issues with your higher ups or with your boss, definitely speak it. If you can't say it or speak it to them, then just quit or something. I don't know, like just leave it alone. Um, but at least give them an opportunity to fix it. And then if they don't fix it, then you know what to do. Um, but yeah, I definitely feel like there's a little bit of a warning here of just be careful with gossiping, rumors, especially who you're gossiping and spreading rumors with, um, because it may, for somebody here, it could backfire on you or the other person. So just be careful with that. Anything else, spirit guides? I don't think so. Group number one, I believe these are all the messages that I'm seeing for y'all. So let me know how this reading resonates for you in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Y'all stay well, stay blessed, and I will see you in my next reading. Peace out. What is good, group number two? For those of you who are drawn to the second image, this is going to be your reading today. We're going to be getting some messages on how are you being viewed at the workplace. So this could be regarding, maybe your coworkers, your boss, managers, higher ups, whoever wants to come through and give you their or give you their opinions of you. All right, group number two, spirit team. I feel like you are easy to work with. A lot of people view you as very easy to work with. You may be easy to talk to. You have this very like blissful energy to you. It's almost, especially with this page energy and this night energy that just came out. You may come off as a little, what's the word, like naive to some people at your job, but it's not that you're naive. It's not that you're dumb. Some of you may do it on purpose. I get that. I feel that for sure. But um, again, it's not that you're naive. You're not dumb. You're not stupid or anything like that. You just know how to play the game well. Mm, yes, you know how to play the game well. Because that's kind of like work life, even corporate life. To me, is all a big game, and you just have to know how to play the game well. Um, and I feel like you know how to play the game with this Page of Swords energy. You're very intellectual. You're very smart and intelligent. Um, but it's covered under personality here. Some people may mistake your personality for your intellect. You may come off as, a little bit like, again, like a little bit naive, maybe a little blissfully unaware, or, you may have just like this childlike, youthful nature to you. That's just naturally who you are because you are a ball of joy, group number two. And I love that about your energy. So again, you may come off as a little, not knowing what's going on, but you know exactly what's going on. You're actually a lot more aware of what's going on around you than other people are, than most people are at your job. This kind of the energy of like, oh, we're making fun of group number two behind their back. We have this thing that we say or do behind group number two's back. But to you, group number two, you already know what's going on. You just don't give a shit. You're just kind of living life, and you're kind of almost curious about how things will play out. So you just let people have it. You're not worried about going back and forth with this strength energy here. You're not getting into any power struggles with people. If they want to have a certain opinion or assumption about you, then so be it. What do people say? Then whoop de doo. That's kind of your energy that you give off. Like, if y'all want to talk shit, then whoop de fucking do. Um, you may deal with this Page of Swords energy, especially, Page of Swords in reverse is very much like gossiping and, spreading rumors. Page of Swords is a messenger, but in reverse, he kind of used these messages for not so good. So, there may be people around who may, gossip about you, talk, spread little rumors, but all of that is because, you don't let everybody into your energy. um you may have this vibe to you to where it's like, I come to work, I do my job, and I go home. I'm not interested in the office politics. I'm not interested in, again, like power struggles, going back and forth with people and trying to make people like me or make people perceive me in certain ways. You're not interested in that. You're just doing you and having fun with it. Some of you may actually, really enjoy your job and really enjoy what you do. Um, if you are unsatisfied in any type of way, it could be more of a financial thing. Maybe you're just kind of overworked and underpaid. Um, but it doesn't really give like you hate your job or anything. I feel like most of you actually really enjoy your job or enjoy what you do. Um, but there could be maybe some sort of um, I don't know, disagreement with you and maybe how you're getting paid, how you're treated, or maybe your schedule, something like that. There may be some element of it that you don't like, but it's more so of logistics and not really, again, like the actual job itself. Um, what else? Tell us a little bit more about this Page of Swords energy. What's the gossip on group number two? I want to be a little bit nosy. I'm really, really curious. What's the gossip on group number two? What do people talk about? Something about like people, oh my goodness, excuse me. I guess they do not want to get this message out. um, but something about, oh shit, I lost it. Okay, there it is. Um, I feel like you do so well and so good at your job, or you do such good things that people have to find, they're like grabbing, like, what is the phrase? Like grasping at straws, to where it's like you're not really doing anything wrong or bad or anything. But people, for some reason, have to find something, something to, find negative about you. So, this could be the energy of like, maybe you're a very kind and giving person, and somebody may try to make a spin on that to be like, oh, group number two is such a people pleaser and all of that. But it's like, I'm minding my business, I'm doing good things, I'm a great coworker, and y'all still trying to find something to talk about. Like, why? So it's that energy of like, little petty things going on. There may be specifically a group of three people. Yeah, I'm getting specifically like a group of three. It could be two, but yeah, between two to three people that may, you know, um, say certain things about you, or maybe certain things about you, your work. You may have some people here, with this Three of Pentacles energy, who are overly critiquing you, or like overly looking too deep into your work, or um, again, they're like over analyzing stuff to try to find something to, nag about, or something to, those type of managers or bosses, to where like, you can be doing everything that they told you to do, but they will still find something negative to say about you or your work or what you've done. Like they can never just have something positive to say. That's kind of the energy I'm picking up here. But this feels more of like coworkers, like people who are, maybe have similar titles than you do, or who just maybe on the same or similar pay scale that you are. This doesn't feel like somebody who's over you. Um, Now, you may have like one person in this group who could be like a bit of a higher up, or maybe a manager, boss, or somebody who's a little bit higher up than you. Um, Yeah, I'm getting like a boss and like a few coworkers type of thing. You know how some bosses don't have that type of, you know, boundaries with their workers. This could be that energy here I'm picking up. Take where it resonates, but definitely, again, it just feels like, you know, they're just grasping at straws. They're trying to find something to critique, something to say negative. But what they're left with, you know, the underlying energy that I'm picking up is admiration. Like they really, you know, despite all the gossip and rumors, and it's not a whole lot. Honestly, like I'm making it seem like it's super prevalent amongst your workplace. In reality, it's not really a lot. You may have, you know, work with 50 people at your job, and there may only be, again, like two or three people who just, you know, may have something negative to say about you. So the vast majority of people at your job really enjoy being around you and enjoy having you on the team. While again, there may be a few people that just talk shit, but that's normal. They may call you an overachiever for somebody here. Um, but again, it just kind of stems from admiration. They really admire your work, what you do, but it kind of, they let their ego and that jealousy, um, you know, not let them not give you the props that you deserve. What else? You got the five of wands at the bottom of the deck. You may have some people that are in competition with you. That may be a little bit of what people may be talking about. Nothing for you to worry about or anything. I don't feel like this is really a big concern of yours because I feel like most of you don't even know that this is going on. I mean, some of you may kind of pick it up, or you may be picking up on this competitive energy, but just continue to do you, continue to, you know, show up, do what you're supposed to do, and go home. Um, because again, you may have a little bit of competitive energy in the workplace, and that could be, you know, what, you know, this certain group of people may talk about. And I feel like you may have people who compete with you like unconsciously. It's not that they're necessarily jealous of you or feel any type of way about you. It's just more so of like, again, you may have a lot of people who naturally look up to you and really admire the work that you do. Um, and so that kind of naturally brings out a little bit of competitive energies with other people. Um, but they kind of, a lot of people do it unconsciously, and that's normal. That's natural. That's kind of human nature here. Um, just like Michael Jackson said, when they ask why, just tell them that it's human nature. So, um, again, I feel like you have people who compete, but they kind of compete on a unconscious level. You know, they're not trying to compete with you. They actually really admire you and really like you. Um, but there's, again, there's just something about your work ethic and how you handle certain things that causes people to want to do better for themselves. Um, so that's really great. Anything else for group number? Uh, what is this? Group two? Mm, I don't. Okay, hold on. Look, you got the four of pentacles underneath this five of wands. So again, like you, you're keeping, oof, and then the four of cups underneath that. So you keep a lot of things to your chest. Um, this may even be the vibe that you kind of give off to certain people around your job, to where you may come off as, it may feel like you're uninterested, or you know, there may be, you know, the energy is kind of giving is like a little bit of like cockiness or arrogance. You know, I think, you know, you may have some people who may view you as, you know, you think that you're better than other people, or, you know, you may have a little bit of a cocky energy to you, but it's not really that. It's more so with that strength energy of confidence, reassurance, or self reassurance. Like, you know that you're good at your job. You know that you're good at what you do, and you're just not watering yourself down just to make other people feel more comfortable. You're not dimming your light just to make others feel more comfortable or safe or stable. And that may be a little bit of where this, five of wands energy comes from also. um some people just may not know how to read you at your job. um I feel like you can read other people very well, but they may not know how to read you very well. I feel like a lot of people more so make assumptions about you or their opinions about you versus having any actual facts about you. All right. Group number two, I believe these are all the messages that I'm seeing for y'all. So let me know how this reading resonates for you in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Y'all stay well, stay blessed, and I will see y'all in my next reading. Peace out. What is good, group number three? Last but definitely not least, for those of you who are drawn to the third image, this is going to be you all's reading today. We're going to be getting some messages on how are you being viewed in the workplace. So this can be, regarding your coworkers, your boss, leaders, customers, clients. I don't know, whatever messages want to come through. Going to be pertaining to your workplace. So, spirit guides, angels, benevolent, and venerated ancestors. Um, how is group number three being viewed in their workplace? First word that kind of came out to me was quick. I'm hearing somebody saying they're quick with it. Um, so you can be somebody who's known in your workplace to maybe you work very fast or you get things done pretty quick. Even if you're somebody who like some also is getting procrastination too. Even if you're somebody who procrastinates on certain projects or tasks, you still get things done very effectively and efficiently, is what I'm getting. Um, yeah, I can kind of see that both ways here. Some of you, you may just be on top of stuff, get things done early, so you don't have to worry about it later on. While others of you, you may procrastinate until the end, but you still get it done, and you get it done like very well. Like the things that you produce are pretty good. How are they being viewed in the workplace, spirit? Group number three, how are they being viewed in the workplace? Okay, so the devil in reverse that came out first. I'm getting two things. The first thing that came out, you may have people who may consider you like a witch, but they may have like a more negative connotation or negative perception of the word witch. Um, you just may be somebody who's into like spirituality and things like that, but you may be dealing with people who may not know much about spirituality, or they may just have more of a religious perspective, and they just may think that anything outside of their religion or their belief system is witch or witchcraft. So you may have people who kind of view you as that, or they may think that you put certain like spell work on them or something like that. Take what resonates here. That's not for everybody, but I am picking it up for somebody here. Now, for others of you here, you got the Four of Pentacles with this devil in reverse. So I feel like some people at your job, they may know, some things that you may have gone through in your past. There may be some things that they may know about your personal life, or maybe you got the Page of Swords here at the bottom of the deck. So there may have been a little bit of like gossip, going on about your personal life or what goes on with you outside of work. And I feel like they have heard about some of the more negative things that you may have gone through in your life, maybe in the past, maybe things that you may be currently going through. But with the devil in reverse, it talks about, releasing toxicity, releasing negativity. So they kind of see you in a bit of a purging energy right now. And I was getting that with this Four of Pentacles, like you may be kind of keeping your cards close to your chest at this time. They may be viewing you as a little bit private or to yourself, or that you're not sharing as much as you used to. Maybe you used to be somebody who overshared. Maybe you're not sharing as much as you used to. Um, but they may view it as you're dealing with, those negative or toxic, things that may be going on in your life, or things that may have gone on in the past. So definitely for sure they view you as kind of, keeping your cards close to your chest. You're not telling all your business. Even though, you may have, they may know a few things, whether it may be from like social media or or something like that. Um, but they don't know everything. So they kind of just have to, with again, a Page of Swords, especially in reverse, is a big gossip type of energy here. So, um, you may just have people who assume certain things, or they have their own opinions, assumptions about you, what you got going on in your own personal life. So I feel like one big thing here again is you have a lot of people who are um, curious about your personal life, but they need to mind their business. So you got the Three of Pentacles here. So I feel like you're also viewed as somebody who works very well with other people. I feel like you're easy to get along with. You're easy to work with. You may have a lot of people who admire you at your job or admire what you do. Or I'm getting like notes. I'm seeing somebody taking notes in class. So you may have, oh, okay. So you got the little thing right here. I don't know if this is like a scribe or like a blueprint or something like that. So, you may have people who take note of, your work, what you do, how you do it. Um, you kind of come off as a bit of like a blueprint for, how your boss or higher ups may want others, new hires and all that to kind of work, and, their work ethic to kind of match what you do and how you do it. I feel like you do things well. Some of you, I'm getting bend the rules, so some of you may kind of take a few shortcuts, or you may bend the rules and policies in a little bit of a sense, but it kind of comes off as you get a bit of a pass on that, because of you know how positively you're viewed at work, especially by your higher ups, your managers. Even if they may come off as a little bit of a attitude, or it may not seem like it. I feel like, for the most part, for many of you, your higher ups and your bosses really look up to you, and they really admire what you do. If this is like your own business or something, um, I feel like your clients, your customers really admire what you do and how you do it. They may really admire like your customer service, the services that you provide, the quality that you provide. Um, yeah, I definitely feel like you get a lot of more positive, um, perspectives from others versus negative. But again, they just kind of wish that they knew a little bit more about you and what you got going on. I'm actually recording y'all's group like a day later. I think I recorded the other two groups yesterday, but I was kind of in a rush, and I think I was headed to work or something. Um, so I'm recording y'all's like a day or two later. So I'm not sure. I think there was another group that kind of had a similar message as far as like the, keeping your cards close to your chest. Um, so I don't know if some of you were drawn to like a different group as well. You got the Queen of Cups and then the Sun. So yeah, you're definitely somebody that people enjoy working with, enjoy being around. You may offer a very positive perspective. You may contribute to a positive work environment. Even if the work environment may be a little bit toxic with this devil energy. Some of you may be in a very toxic workplace. Um, I feel like you kind of stay out of it with this Four of Pentacles energy. I don't know. You got the Page of Swords that had came out earlier, so some of y'all may dibble and dabble in the workplace gossip and rumors and stuff. Just be careful with that. I feel like this is kind of human. A lot of us want to be nosy and want to know the things that's going on around us. So, you may hear a few things, you may say a few things, but just again, be careful with that because you never know who's listening, and you never know, what spin they may put on those words as well. Um, but overall, I feel like you are very liked. You're very much enjoyed with what you do and how you do it. It's something about how you do things. I feel like I repeated that a million times. There's something about how you work that people really like. That you may have a certain way of doing things. There's something about like your method of doing things. I'm getting like an instance at, I've never worked here, but like Starbucks or something, maybe there's one way, and I got that about bending the rules too. Maybe there's one way to make a certain drink or coffee or something like that, but maybe you have a way of doing it that's, a little bit more easier, or, you know, it may provide better quality. You may get better compliments on, your drink or your service, versus your coworkers who may follow, um where is it, who may follow the exact policies and all of that. You may put your own little spin and twist on things, and it may work out a lot better for you than it does your other coworkers. So again, that feels, um it feels like, again, how you do things is very significant at your workplace. The Queen of Cups here, so you're somebody who's they feel like you're very emotionally stable and emotionally intelligent. Now, what I am getting here too, you know, you may deal with certain struggles or certain mental health issues, depression, anxiety, doubts, fears, but with the Queen of Cups and the Sun, you know, you you present yourself, because again, this is how you're being viewed. You present yourself as, very positive, things are going well for you. On the outside world, you're viewed as, very, again, very stable, very emotionally balanced, very joyful, happy. um but maybe for some of you in your inner world, or even in your personal life, because again, we got the Devil and the Four of Pentacles. You met bless me, my goodness. On the inner world, you may be going through, or behind the scenes, you may be going through quite a bit of other things that other people don't know about. Oh, excuse me. But um, again, on the outside here, it doesn't come off as that. You may be very good at like masking, or you just may be one of those people who have this value of, leaving your problems at the door, which is cool. It's great, you know. But again, it's okay to be a human being, and it's okay to know that we have our struggles, we have things that go on in our lives, and it's okay to sometimes show that. We don't always have to be perfect, we don't always have to care so much about how we're being perceived. And that's not to say that you're somebody who cares a lot about how you're being perceived or how people view you, but maybe for some of you that could sometimes stop you from, showing that more human and vulnerable side of yourself. And I feel like that's something that they may want to see more of from you, is, more vulnerable, vulnerability. Oh my goodness. Vulnerability. Golly, that took a minute to come out. They may want to see a little bit more of that from you, versus this very poised character that you kind of present to the world. Some of you can be like a Virgo rising. I'm getting Capricorn rising. Your rising sign could be very significant here. Um, or you may have a lot of Virgo in your chart. Virgos are definitely the like perfectionist, but definitely specifically with when it comes to like your rising sign, that's how the world like views you. Um, yeah, I really like this energy. I feel like a lot of your coworkers and the people that you work with, even your bosses, they really enjoy having you around as well. You can be somebody who is quite funny. They may find a lot of humor in like your jokes or things that you may say. Some of you may be like unintentionally funny. You may not try so hard to be that way. Ten of Swords at the bottom of the deck here. Um, hmm. Okay. Ten of Swords. I feel like they may view you as, this may not be your permanent spot. You may be, some of you may be getting ready to quit. Some of you may want to quit. Some of you may be it may be kind of showing in like your face or your attitude or the way that you're just kind of going about that you're kind of, done with this cycle at this workplace. So some of you may be, getting ready to find, or you may be in the works of finding something else. Um, finding a different job, things of that sort. Ooh, the Ace of Swords. Okay. But yeah, I definitely feel like many of them may feel that, you're getting ready to move on to something bigger and better. Um, I don't know. Some of you may have even had a little bit of a tough time at this current workplace. And that could be this devil in reverse energy as well of, tired of putting up with the toxicity and the negativity and you're done. You're ready to move forward or move on to something different, something bigger and better. I love this energy for you though. Ace of Swords. There's definitely a breakthrough coming in for you, group number three. So definitely hang in there. You have a lot of stability coming your way and a lot more financial gain and abundance coming your way here also. Um, you know, Also don't forget that to advocate for yourself, to speak up when you need to. And don't let people walk all over you. Don't let people put swords in your back. It's okay to speak up. Sometimes you may have to ruffle little feathers in order to create change. I feel like I said that recently. I don't know. Did I say that in another reading? IDK. All right, but group number three, I believe these are all the messages that I'm seeing for y'all. So let me know how this reading resonates for you in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Y'all stay well, stay blessed, and I will see you all in my next reading. Peace out.